So I just wanted to show you what I do when preparing my queen rearing colonies, my starter colony for doing bulk queen cells. So this is a colony now that I've been allowing to build up on 10 frames. Now this is the first time I'm getting to look into this colony this year, but I had earmarked this one to do this function for me. Ideally I would have liked to have gotten in sooner to check on them, but it's really only in the last week or so that they have kind of built up. So this is really just a frame of stores. Some brood down in the lower quadrant. There's larvae there and some eggs. And the drone comb that's hanging from the bottom has all been laid up as well. So it's not obviously ideal that these stores would still be here, kind of blocking the nest, as it were, from expanding. But it's just the unfortunate side effect of the weather that we've had, meaning that I couldn't get in to check on a lot of the colonies when I wanted to. But this colony is looking nice and strong. They are more biased over towards this side, but I can see though on the outside frame there as well that there's a similar setup with the front kind of, we'll say, quadrant of the frame, lower quadrant, that there's brood there, early stages. There's a frame again. It's in the lower quadrant with capped brood and plenty of stores. Now the stores, actually we don't really mind because we will make use of those. There's a nice frame of capped brood. So I'm looking for the queen. I want to keep her in the lower box. It's a nice frame pollen, so this will be a great frame in our actual queen rearing box. But I want to obviously keep the queen in the lower box. I don't see her on this frame, and I'm going to have to break off this brace comb. This is one kind of downside of these, particularly the Paradise Honey boxes, that I've noticed anyway. I've heard there are some other poly boxes that kind of have the same problem with brace comb. So I'm bringing this frame up because first of all it has plenty of stores. Secondly, it has a small amount of cap brood on it, so that's neat. And there's plenty of pollen on the other side. So just for the moment we're going to leave it in this 6 frame nuke box. So approximately 6 frames to pull up. Between 5 and 6 frames. Now, I do have to be careful because of the brace comb. As you can see, it's a lovely frame of cap brood, some kind of spotty cells there, but they're backfilling those with nectar, so, and some pollen. So that actually what we want to see in a queen rearing colony. Again, another nice patch of brood there. And just looking out for the queen, don't see her here, but we'll double check these now before we put them into the upper box. And if the queen is found then, which sometimes can happen once you've kind of separated the frames from the main body of the hive, if you haven't seen her. I don't have to see the queen as such, because I know if I go through the box again and I see eggs before I separate it, this will all make sense hopefully when I put this video together. What I'm doing kind of serves two purposes in a way, because I'm now going to provide plenty of room for the queen downstairs to lay in. So the colony is going to, the queen's going to feel like she has space, so that's going to hold off her swarming. She's building up her numbers. But because of the brood that I'm going to put in from another hive, it's going to make this colony explode and provide me with enough workers to make a very strong queenless colony when the time comes when I need it. Now we can see here, I'm going to show you, this central area here has all hatched and the queen has laid it back up. These bees are nice and calm on the comb. This is another thing you want for a queen rearing colony. You don't want bees that are, going to react to you. I can wave my hand over the comb like this and I have no bees coming up. They're just minding their own business. So this is ideal. If you're an aggressive colony, it just makes it then a nightmare when you're actually coming to work your queen cells at a later stage. We have some drone comb down here and here with brood in it, drone brood. That's okay. I actually don't mind leaving drone brood in a colony that I'm rearing queen cells. So what I'm doing is just, I haven't said it already, is basically what I'm going to be creating is a queenless colony ultimately. But first I want to make a very strong colony, and I'm using this nuke, what was a nuke, it was a split that I transferred into a full-size box late in the season last year, to with this intention that I was going to use this box and another one for to make up my queenless colony. Now the next box that I take brood out of, I will then be basically just moving on into a production colony, but for now this colony is going to be the donor for the queenless side of things. And I'm just I don't see the queen, just double checking, but we as I said, I will be checking over the frames again. But when you have nice calm bees like that, again, it's something that's, you can easily find the queen. So what we want to do is, the eggs that are there on that frame, it kind of gives brood at all stages, so it means that you have a healthy then queenless colony with young bees coming on over the course of a couple of weeks. But essentially I won't be making this colony queenless until that brood is capped. So again, I have a comb with lots of space in it, brood that's hatching, so you can see there's plenty of young bees on the comb. So population wise it's not huge. I mean, the frames aren't black with bees, as you might say, but we have plenty of young bee. We have a growing population, and the queen has laid up the space here where the brood has hatched, so that's going to give me 3 weeks from today, we'll say, because the eggs that are here are about a day old, so 3 weeks from today we're still going to have young bee hatching. So this gives me, you know, plenty of time, and I will be adding obviously in frames of capped brood from time to time to the queenless colony. But this gives me a colony that isn't going to dwindle nearly from the outset, as it were, and it's going to give me 3 good weeks with brood hatching. So I'm not seeing any signs of swarming. There are no drones walking on the comb yet. So again, that'll just show you how behind things are, because ordinarily I would see drones at this time of the year walking on the comb. We seem to be a long way from that. Now unfortunately we have to get rid of this drone comb with drone brood in it, but this helps, you know, with varroa mite reduction as well, in a small scale. So I'm not seeing her ladyship anywhere here, but we do have eggs there. So as I said, she's laid this up, which is great. There she is. Oh, beauty. Beauty, beauty, beauty. So if you can see her there. But she's here. Look at that for a queen. This is one of my own home-reared queens. And she's doing the business. Okay, that's fantastic. So I've seen her now, so I don't have to worry myself too much more. Of course, she is hiding down in that bit of brace comb down at the bottom, which is typical, but there she is. She's coming out now. I don't really want to leave that brace comb there because it's kind of dirty looking actually, so I might still remove it. There she is there. You can see her there. So let's remove this now that she's gone off that. You know, she's there just minding her own business. She's not frantically moving around the frame. That's kind of what you want to see. You don't want to see queens that panic. Queens that panic are ones that are liable to getting squished. And beekeepers that panic are liable to squish queens. So, works both ways, doesn't it? So now we're going to give this queen some space. So we have our 6 frames now, and I have so I need to replace now with 6 comb. This is comb that has been cleaned out. So now we have replaced with 5 frames. We need 1 more. And so this one here, that's where I've cut out, this was drone comb, so I've cut that out, and that'll give the bees something to work on with. They've left the starter strip essentially behind. So I just want to scrape off this brace comb across the top of the frames, because I'm going to put a queen excluder down. So I just want to move the bees down. You can see they're not that bothered by my smoker. But I don't want to obviously squish bees when it's trying to scrape off the brace comb if I can help it. Come on girls, move down now, move down, good girls, that's it. Now we've seen the queen there, we can be happy we know she's there. Now sometimes in these exercises queens get squished, hopefully not, and but we'll be checking these in a few days' time. By that stage the hope is that the queen will have started laying back up in frames that we've just put in. Straw and comb, it won't delay the queen any, and then when it comes to it then we can harvest more brood out of this for our split. Now we have 5 frames left, 5 frames left that we want to use, so I put this box up, and I always alternate my boxes. I don't know if it does anything for bees as such, but I in my own head I think it helps with the bees, just preventing them from drawing brace comb. So now we put our brood in this box that we have extracted, and we know we've no queen there, so we don't have to be worried about that. Now there is still a bit of brace comb in the bottom of these, so it's actually kind of resting on the queen's lure, which isn't ideal. It does mean the bees will just build that comb down, but now it doesn't really matter which side of the box. I mean, I've been centralising them there, but I might just shake this one off here and scrape off the brace comb at the bottom. This is our frame of storage, so we leave this on the outer edge anyway. There's some brood on it, but it's primarily stores. And we'll just settle these bees down a bit. Now with the next one, we do it a little bit differently. The next hive that we're going to actually harvest brood off. So we're going to be harvesting brood, but not bees. Okay. So the idea there is that we're giving this, what's going to be the queenless part of the colony, which is the upper box, plenty of brood, because when the bees hatch they will largely remain in the upper box until they're ready to go out and forage. So they will kind of stay in the upper box, especially if there's brood at younger stages. So that's the idea why I don't have any issue with putting eggs up here, apart from the fact that it actually gives me, you know, kind of a prolonged sort of colony that's regenerating itself for a period of time. It also just holds the young bee there until I come to make them queenless. So this colony, again, it's the first time I'm actually looking into it proper. It was slow to build up. I did give this colony a feed back in about a month ago, and they kind of built up from there. But they mightn't be as friendly as the last colony. And they're definitely not as well built up. So in some respects, you know, that's kind of the only thing it does guarantee me is that they're not or they shouldn't be at a point where they want to swarm yet. And as I said, I will then just turn this colony into a production colony from here. I only need this round of brood, because then my other colony that I've just worked on, they will be the ones to provide me with 1 or 2 frames of brood to add to my queenless colony over a couple of weeks period. So we have here a full frame of eggs. Here, well, a full frame, there's stores up this end here, but eggs all over here. As you can see, these bees aren't as quiet on the comb, but you know, they're running a bit, but they're not too bad so far. And I wave my hand over. You know, none of the bees are reacting to my hand waving over the comb. So from that point of view, I don't have any issues. But I'm not going to take this comb. It's nicely laid up with eggs, but I think I'll leave this one. And more what I'm after here is, out of this one, is capped brood. So I'm just going to leave this frame here. So we only need 5 combs. Now ideally we want to see the queen on the comb we're removing. We want to check for the queen, but we are going to be shaking the bees off. So I mean, if we don't see her, I don't like shaking. Now there's a lovely frame of capped brood. Fantastic. I don't like shaking frames unless I know for sure that the queen isn't there. That's kind of the ideal, because I definitely don't like shaking queens. But look at that beautiful pattern. And again, this is one of my own reared queens. So this is super. Again, you can just see bees are not reacting. So I'm going to shake this frame off. Now we don't want to leave brood out too long exposed. So we want to be as quick as possible here with this. So in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave them to one side, and then when we have our 5 frames out, we'll then shake them off, because the bees will kind of keep them protected and warm. Again, there's another frame with plenty of capped brood, but there's our queen. Just point her out there. She's gone in over to this side. So I'm not going to remove this frame. I'm happy. There she is. And here. she's coming up over the top of the frame now. No, there she is. She's a little bit not as quiet as the previous queen, in terms of, you know, she's moving a bit more on the comb, but that's okay. We don't mind that. So I'm glad I didn't shake the previous frame that I took out, because she was actually on the side that I had exposed, and was in a prime location for getting a whack at the comb. Shake these now. So I'm finished with this colony, apart from I need a frame of foundation, which I will go and get now. But they've essentially donated all the brood I want. And I will be getting a sheet of foundation and a super for them. They're going to build up gradually. They've lost a significant amount of brood now. But there's brood that is there. I've left obviously one frame of cap brood, and 2 to 3 frames of eggs are there as well. So this colony will grow. The queen will go into overdrive now that she's got that space as well. And they will, by the time July comes, produce me 2, maybe even 3 supers of honey. So it's about 9 days after I've made up this arrangement with this colony. This is going to form my starter colony for my queen cells. So now I just want to arrange it now to set up my queenless colony. And what we're going to do is, so this colony, I kind of want a colony that's good and strong and on the brink of kind of swarming.